What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Hope all you're having a great day so far. Getting into this episode of GH, this episode right here. When I tell you that things just continue to get messy, it's getting messy. Like messy to the 10th power. Normally, I would feel bad for somebody in Maxie's position, but I kind of don't at this point because she's just making things a lot worse. Like, this plan was bound to kind of fail from the get-go. I mean, I get it. Listen, I totally get it. Desperate times calls for desperate measures. She was desperate. But I think things are just going from bad to worse to worse. Because it was one thing when Dante found the surveillance footage from, the little cabin or whatever. Now he found the nurse's body. It's getting messier because now that he found the nurse's body, they're trying to figure out now, okay, so if the nurse took the baby, where's the baby? So now he got phone records that shows that she made a call right before that or whatever. But see, here's the gotcha. Here's the problem with that. If memory serves, Maxie, I believe, used the nurse's phone to call Brooklyn, if I remember. Because I think that was the nurse's phone Maxie used. So when they trace that number or trace that call, it's going to lead them to Brooklyn. Because Dante thinks that the call that the nurse made prior to her demise was to her accomplice. But really, that was Maxie calling Brooklyn. I'm like, see, Maxie, what you gonna do, Maxie? What you gonna do? Like, this whole plan is just backfiring because the another gotcha. Here's another gotcha. She doesn't know Peter is out of the picture right now. So we all think. It's just a lot of moving parts in this storyline because there's no communication amongst everybody, of course. So, because you got Liz over here making moves, you got Brooklyn and Maxie over here making moves, and the two have not met yet. The two moves have not met, so the left hand don't know what the right hand over here doing. So that's where it's getting a little, like a big clusterfuck at this point. And then on top of that, you got Dante and Sam investigating this, so the truth about to come out. I don't think it's going to take long for them to figure out where that baby is, especially if they trace that number. It's not going to, 2 plus 2. They're going to figure it out. 2 plus 2 equals 4. They're going to figure it out. So Maxie, and then not even all of that, but notwithstanding, you have to think about the Quartermains. You have to think about Valentine. They're all falling in love with a child that has no relation to them. You know what I mean? Like, zero biological, legal, just no relation to them whatsoever. And they're falling in love with this kid. You know what I mean? Ned is running around falling in love with a baby that's not even his grandchild. So it's just going to be a lot of... You got to think about the legal ramifications of all this. I'm pretty sure they're going to find some legal ramifications for Maxie. Then you have to think about the emotional ramifications for everybody involved. You know what I mean? Like, this is just going to be a hotbed of... just the bed of hot-ass mess is what this is. But like I said, desperate times, desperate measures. So I can sympathize and understand where Maxie was coming from. She was desperate at the time. But this is just going to be it's just going to be crazy. It's going to be ridiculous. And Sam is pretty much making moves to find out where this child is, making some phone calls or whatever. Like, yeah, I know how to find her. I know how to find this baby. It's about to be on like popcorn right about now because this is going to be crazy. Speaking of another hot mess, this whole Michael Chase Willow saga is just woo. So, Finn was able to revive Chase after he flatlined and gave him the antidote, and the antidote is working. So Chase is on the mend. He's on the road to recovery. And of course, Chase wanted to know how Finn was able to save him. So of course, that's a conversation Finn is going to have with him that, I'm not your pappy. I'm really your brother. I can't wait for that. But now that Chase is on the road to recovery, everybody's starting to wonder, especially BLQ and Michael, they're all wondering, okay, what we going to do now? Because the whole point of Willow marrying him was because they thought he was a goner. But yeah, he's sticking around for a little while longer on this earth. So what y'all gonna do? And not only that, he wants a wedding do-over. Chase wants to marry Willow again. Like, he wants to have a real ceremony. I'm like, oh my God. Oh shit. What y'all gonna do? And even Brooklyn was asking Michael, like, what you gonna do? Because she over here married to Chase, but she in love with your ass. So what y'all gonna do? I'll tell you what they need to do. I ain't gonna tell you what I'm gonna tell you what they need to do. Tell that man the truth. Tell that man the truth. Just go on ahead and do it. But I recommend, because he is a cop, I recommend that y'all take his gun away from him first. Make sure that there's no bar where there's no weapon, there's no nothing in his proximity. I'm just saying, because you never know how people gonna react to things. So I think it's in their best interest. I'm curious to see how Chase is gonna react to all of this nonsense. Like, I mean, maybe he'll sympathize with them because, he kind of did the same thing for their sake, when he lied and said that he slept with Sasha. So I don't know how he's going to react to all of this. I think it's going to be quite interesting and fun to watch. Because so far from what we've seen of Chase, he's a good dude. Very good dude, mild-mannered. But, in situations like this, where you feel like you've been played by somebody, you never know how they're going to react. Like, are they going to be cool? Are they going to, understand? You never know. You know what I mean? Or are they just going to get real mad and pop you upside your head? You know what I mean? Like, you just never know what somebody going to do. Some shit going to go down now. And I'm here for it. I am here for all of this mess. Because that's exactly what all of this is. A hotbed of mess. And I can't wait for it to come out. But I am happy for Finn, though. At least he got a victory in this case. But, he can't shake Peter. Because he knows that, this thing with him and Peter ain't over. Especially given what he knows. So moving on from that, I'm glad, Liz and Jason had a chance to talk and, get some stuff cleared up. But she wanted to, he was letting her know that he got his people looking for Peter or whatever. And Elizabeth was like, well, shit, I got something to tell you. I hope she tells Jason about what happened with Peter, because I think Jason's the best person to tell. Because number one, obviously, he's not going to tell nobody. Two, he's discreet, and if the body is still where they put it, then maybe he could help, get rid of it or whatever, because they're already in a cover-up. So there's no going off confessing and whatever, because y'all already, once you're in a cover-up and some time had passed, you might as well keep the cover-up going at this point. So I think the best person to go to help dispose of a body would be Jason. I'm just saying. I think that would be the best person to go to be perfectly honest. Maybe Jason will help. You never know. Maybe he will. I think he will. But anyway, moving on from that, I'm glad Cameron went to Jason to apologize and ask for forgiveness and stuff like that. I mean, Cameron was pissing me off during that whole storyline where he kept blaming Jason and stuff. He was getting on my nerves, but I respect the fact that he's growing into his own and he's man enough to come to Jason and say, you know what, I messed up. I blamed you for something that wasn't your fault. I apologize. I just wish that you would have told me what was really going on. But he should know Jason now. He should know Jason better than that. Jason's not going to tell you the truth because, number one, you're still a kid to him. Two, it was dicey. Like, he couldn't tell Cam because Cam is, how do I put this? Cam is somewhat, I would say, a hothead a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a hothead. And the way his mind is, he doesn't think before he do things. So I feel like if Jason would have told him what was going down, he probably would have went and tried to attack Peter or, it just would have made the situation worse. So, I mean, you have to understand why Jason didn't tell him. Why nobody who did know told a lot of people because of the way that they would react to it. But like I said, I'm glad Cam was man enough to go and, talk to Jason and apologize and get some forgiveness, which I knew Jason would forgive him, of course, because that's just how Jason is. He's not going to hold a grudge, especially mainly not against a kid. You know what I mean? He's not going to do that, especially a kid that he know. So I'm also glad that, Cameron and Joss had a moment to talk. I feel like they needed to clear the air, but Jocelyn feels like, oh, the damage is kind of done. We're going off to college, starting new or whatever. She kind of feels like their friendship was not going to be the same or whatever. I mean, my thing is, Jason forgave him. Jocelyn, go on ahead, forgive that boy. Go ahead to be friends or whatever. And it's a little issue of that diary that Dev forged that I feel like her and Cameron needs to talk about that too. The whole diary and their friendship and all that. I think it's just a lot they need to talk about. Everything between them is not going to go back to peaches and cream, not automatically. But I think once they sit down and have an in-depth conversation and clear the air on everything, I think maybe, you could just get to the healing process. I think so. I did like the conversation that Joss had with Carly pertaining to her college, because Jocelyn just really doesn't seem like she's all that happy about going to college, and Carly noticed that. I was actually surprised that Carly ass was up in there baking cookies and then burned down the kitchen. I'm surprised because we all know Carly cannot bake nor cook. So I was shocked. And them cookies look good. I said, go ahead, Carly. You know how to bake. Go ahead, girl. Them shits look good though. I ain't gonna lie. Made me want to come up there just for some cookies. I said, okay, save me some. Save me a little slither, a little platter. Them cookies was looking right. I ain't gonna lie. So anyway, Jocelyn prefers to stay at home rather than go to a dorm. I get it, but at the same time, I have to agree with Carly on that. I feel like especially when you go to college the first time, like your first time going to college, it's such a different world. You know what I'm saying? It's such a new experience, and I think that she should, experience all of college, including staying in the dorm. Most kids like going to the dorm because it's a level of independence for them. You know what I'm saying? Like you're on your own, you're living on your own now, you're free of your parents and all that mess. You know what I mean? You can kind of come and go when you kind of want to, depending on dorm rules or whatever. It's like it's a level of independence basically, and I think that Jocelyn would benefit from that. But I kind of figured they wouldn't have her staying in the dorm for show purpose. You know what I mean? I think she still could have stayed in the dorm and still had storylines. Cause I think that would have been fun too. To see her dorm and stuff and kind of see a little bit of the teen scene with the college years. You know what I mean? Because college is buck wild. I ain't even gonna lie. And they could kind of, seeing as how this is daytime TV, they could heighten that drama a little bit. I think it would have been fun. But, of course, talk turns to Carly handing the business over to Jason and stuff. And Carly assured Jocelyn that that's exactly what was going on, that she was handing the business over to Jason. But we all know with Carly, it's never that cut and dry. It's never that simple. I just don't see Carly giving up the business that quickly, because once you get a taste of power like that, it's like, it's kind of hard to let that go. It's definitely hard to let power like that go. Oh, I meant to mention too, speaking of Maxie, I thought it was risky of her to go to the Quartermain mansion because she had called Brooklyn and she was like, oh, I need to hold the baby or whatever. Brooklyn was like, look, I need to go to the hospital. Like, I ain't got time for all this. Because she keep trying to tell her, like, you're not supposed to be around the baby like that. It's going to just bring suspicion. And, of course, she showed up to the mansion with a gift and all that. And Olivia was, telling her basically, I'm sorry about Louise or whatever. And when Olivia left, she was holding the baby and stuff, talking about getting her back and all that. I'm like, Maxie, your plan is about to blow up in your face. Like, let's just put it that way. So, anyway, moving on from that, listen. This stalker business that Ava and Nicholas are dealing with is getting out of pocket now. So they staying at the Metro Court, and Avery showed them this little teddy bear or whatever, and they pushed the button on the teddy bear, and Ryan's voice was on that damn teddy bear. I said, oh, hell no. So of course they called the police and stuff. Dante showed up or whatever, and Dante keep trying to tell them it's not Ryan. It's not Ryan. I'm like, well, at this point, how could you be so damn sure? Ryan is a slippery little bastard. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's slippery. That man is psychotic. He could be faking his little illness, his little vegetative state. He could be faking that shit. You know what I mean? Dante need to be damn sure before he rule Ryan out. Investigate that fool. Dante just all sure it's not him, it's not him. Well, then who the hell is it, Sherlock Holmes? Since you seem to know. You're so sure it's not Ryan, then who the hell is it? Scooby-Doo and the gang? Dante, good boy. figure out who it is. Ain't that his job to investigate? Well, investigate. So Ava felt it best that she felt it was best if Avery go stay with Carly for a while because she got security and the whole bang. I agree. You know what I mean? I do agree with that because at least Carly's house is gated. It got guards all around it. So, but at the same time, I'm like, Nicholas and Ava can afford security. So I don't understand why they don't get security. You can afford to put a whole army of guards outside the door. You know what I mean? Like, y'all that cheap? I'm just saying. Like, you can afford good security. Didn't Nicholas have a whole team that swarmed on the house that Florence was staying in? So why you can't hire a team to protect you and your wife? Because Ava just seemed like she cracking. Like, she just told Nicholas, I can't do this shit no more. She said, I can't do this. Listen, writers, as much as Nicholas been getting on my nerves, I do like him with Ava, so y'all better not try to break him and Ava up, because I will break my foot off in somebody's ass. I'm just saying. I like them together, so don't screw that up. Not yet, at least. All marriages go through their shit, but don't be breaking them up yet. I know it's going to happen eventually, but I don't need it to be happening right now. But I feel like Ava in this whole stalker situation, I feel like she's not just going to sit around waiting for the police. I feel like Ava's going to be, taking matters into her own hands. Because it's not the first time, she had to deal with Ryan or some craziness. So, it's possible that maybe it could be somebody else doing this other than Ryan. It's a very big possibility. I'm not ruling Spencer out because, it's possible. But at the same time, shit, at this point, I'm not even ruling Nicholas' ass out at this point because Nicholas got that mind. Like, Nicholas ain't stupid like that. He could be a little conniving when he want to be. And who's to say him and Spencer ain't working together on this? You never know. Trying to get some type of little petty revenge or something. You never know. I got to look at everybody with the side eye on this one because everybody's a suspect until proven innocent in my book. And Nicholas, you're a suspect too, as much as I don't want to, think you had something to do with this, but you a suspect. Because he got that little conniving ass mind too, so who knows. But Ava need to figure this out because clearly Dante's not going to figure this out. So Ava, it's on you. Figure it out. Anyway, I enjoyed this episode. And Anna running around talking about her and Valentine, telling Valentine that she got to find out where Peter at or whatever. Peter, it's a possibility he really could be dead. But I have a feeling if they go there where they left the body and they look for it, I got a feeling that body ain't going to be there. I don't see them killing Peter off so, easily. I feel like he probably going to disappear for a while because Wes Ramsey is done with the show right now. He wrapped up all his scenes. So I feel like they wrote him out as presumably dead. And, he probably going to be in the wind somewhere until it's time to bring him back. Because we all know him and Cyrus are coming back at some point. I have that feeling. But anyway, this was a pretty good episode. I enjoyed it. Hit the comment section and let me know what y'all thought about it. And I'll see y'all all later. Have a great day. Peace.